World in shock today. Former champion Chris Benoit found dead in his Atlanta. Well, the wrestling world in shock today. Former champion Chris Benoit found dead in his Atlanta home along with his wife and young son. Police now treating the discovery as a double murder-suicide. World Wrestling Entertainment.
Was it too off kilter? Because we always tell each other we love each other.
Yeah.
But this was really forced. It was not forced. It was really like made a point of it. It was like, hey man, okay, I love you, brother. Okay, no, it was like, Chavo, I love you.
I want you to understand.
Say the biggest lie over and over again. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, you guys got away with a lot though. Like
we got a lot away with murder too.
Monday night, my wife and my children will not be watching Raw. Welcome to the sacrificed.
Hi, my friends. I do have something to say. So I want you to pay attention to Chris. I'm not sure when this home video is taken, but this is a home video of Daniel's birthday. I'm not sure which. But look at Chris's face and his eyes. He seems to be sad for some reason, as if he knows something. And he just seems sad and worried, and there's a look of paranoia in his eyes, right? Well, I got a lot to say on this whole ordeal. This particular stream is about Chris Benoit. It's just going to be me showcasing a few videos with my own commentary and whatnot. The part two I plan on doing is just going to be in my own style of videos and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, this channel is mainly going to be focused on multiple things and topics. A lot of gaming and then other stuff as well. But I'm still trying to find my niche, as they say. Anyways, let's just check this out, my friends. Let's see here. Oh. My kids, my sacrifices!
After WrestleMania, the belt is still here. I knew it. But did you knew it before?
Yes, I believed in myself. I'm very proud of the having the title and what I accomplished at WrestleMania. Went into the ring against a very formidable opponent in MVP. The thing MVP didn't understand was he was stepping into the ring with someone with more than 20 years experience. I've got the passion, I've got the heart, I've got the desire. I'll do anything to keep this belt around my waist.
I also got to tell you that MVP somehow surprised me, because to have the guts to be inside WrestleMania for the first time in your life against a monument like Chris Benoit for the belt means, okay, maybe you're not someone now, but maybe in some time you can become someone.
Yes, definitely. I think MVP is a bright prospect. I think he's got a great future in this industry, and you know, I was proud of how he kept up with me at WrestleMania. But I knew that once it went to the mat, he wasn't going to beat Chris Benoit.
WrestleMania showed once more, especially talking about John Cena, that the people it's split. One part of the people is for the reality. Chris Benoit is for real, and we know it. The other part is maybe for, you know, a much more commercial or marketing aspect of the business. Are you still proud to be the real target of the show?
Of course, I'm proud for everything that I've ever accomplished, especially retaining the U.S. title at WrestleMania. Every time I step into that ring, I'm living my dream. And I think it shows by what I put out, what I exert in that ring. Wrestling is my passion. Wrestling is my life. Every time I step into that ring, it becomes a big part of me.
What motivates you? Because a lot of guys are motivated by being a star, right? They want to be a star. A lot of guys want to be rich.
Big difference, big difference. When I'm watching the show, I could tell by watching how they perform, how they wrestle out there, who's out there because they're passionate about it, and who is out there for the stardom, for the, you know, for the accolades. It's like there's a huge difference. Like I said, to me, I'm an artist, and what I do, I'm passionate about. There's some guys that come in like the, you know, Lex Lugers and guys like that it was about the money, it was about the fame, whereas other guys that come in, you know, the Bret Harts, you know, I mean, myself, it's about the passion. Very happy, very focused, very at peace with himself right now.
How hard is it, though, to come back to the same world that pushed you into the depths of darkness to start with?
Yeah. The world doesn't push you into the depths of darkness. You do. And it drives me nuts because the week before WrestleMania, there's a big article in USA Today talking about Dale Wilkes, the Patriot. Raven was in there. Someone else was in there talking about Louis Piccoli and all the pills. Ravens, you know, 200 pills a day habit, and you know, 200 pills a day. I had neck surgery, all right? I'm laying in the hospital the day after, and I'm taking no more than 4 pain pills a day. 200 pills, no, it's a little extreme, okay? And they blame it on the industry. No, it's your choice, all right? I've been doing this 18 years. I do it now. I do it every week. You know, I think I got a pretty good grasp, and I think I'm not an outsider looking in. So that's all BS, complete BS. It's your choice, it's your decision, and that, you know, the media love to take something like that and run with it. And it's not the world of wrestling drove them to alcohol, or the world of wrestling drove them to drugs. No, you do that to yourself, all right? And anyone that says, you know, please come and debate me. Let's debate it right now. Go fact for fact. You know, that's your choice.
So it was Guerrero's choice.
Yes, definitely.
But you had sympathy for him.
Yeah.
Right? You understood you understood why he popped those pills.
I understood why. I didn't understand, you know, I couldn't understand like how they could control you so much in the way that they did him. But I understood why. Yeah, we're in pain.
He's back and healthy now, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, as I said, he's the most influential person that I've ever met in my life, like inspiring.
Very unusual. Today, my guest, most of the time I'm interviewing big, sweaty hunks of wrestlers out here, mean guys, rough guys, but today, what I'm going to try to do is talk to, if I possibly can, I'm going to try to communicate with the angel, sometimes known as the fallen angel.
Trying to communicate with the angel, sometimes known as the fallen angel.
Leave me alone, angel, and I'm trying to do this show. It's my show. I'll do the talking here. But what I want to know is, I've known Kevin Sullivan. I've known the Purple Haze for a long time. And what is it that makes you believe that Kevin Sullivan is so right about what he is doing?
He tells me so. It's just the way that he says it. It's his body language, you know. You know how it is, Jack.
No, I really don't, because I'm not into Kevin Sullivan's body, and the only thing I'd like to be doing to his body is slamming it on the mat and dropping some elbows on it. Do you know Does your mama know where you're at is what I want to know. Does your mama care where you're at?
I don't know about that. I take care of myself. My master takes care of me. I don't worry about
Who is your master?
Kevin.
I never asked for anything, but I called in my marker on this one. You see, something's either happened or it's about to happen of an unbelievable magnitude. A couple of years ago, I was in Japan wrestling and I saw a kid named Chris Benoit. And it just flew off the page. That's a horseman. I went to WCW officials. I played a very big part in getting Chris Benoit here. And he's exceeded all of our expectations. And I told him the first rule is, Chris, anything you want in this sport, the road doesn't rise up to meet any man. You've got to reach out there and take it. But you see, there's an unwritten rule also, a cardinal rule. It doesn't just apply to wrestling or sports. It applies to every aspect of a man's life. Number one, you take care of your family. Rule number two, you don't mess around in another man's family. You see, I know now that you're in Germany. We can't find a woman. We deduce whatever we will. The fact of the matter is, Chris, there's going to come a time, and it's not that far down the road. You see, I've got more age in years. I've got more age in the business, in this great sport. And age denotes wisdom. There's going to come a time in my life and in your life when there's no more cameras, no more TV lights, no more people running up to you at the mall saying, "Can I have your autograph?" And whether you walk away from this great sport, or whether you limp away, or whether they roll you away in a wheelchair, the one constant will always be in your life is your family. They're there, they pat you up when you're hurt, they prop you up, they build your ego up, and they send you back out that door. Well, Chris, I'm just going to ask you one time. Is this obsession with destroying every aspect of Kevin Sullivan's life worth losing your soul? Well, is it?
Worth losing your soul? Well, is it? You have awoken something that should have been left alone. Benoit, you and I, checkmate.
Hitler used to say the biggest lie over and over again. It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, you guys got away with a lot, though. Like
we got a lot away with murder too.
I mean, you guys got away with a lot, though. Like
we got a lot away with murder too. We got a lot away with murder too.
I went my way, he went his way, and in 2.5 days we were going to hook up again. You know, we were on the road again. So now it's Belmont, Texas, I believe. And I
This is on like a Saturday or a Friday?
This is now Saturday morning.
Okay.
So the first one we left, I left him probably Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So now it's Saturday morning, early. I land in Dallas, my connection, and we always get on the phone and and coordinate what time you get in.
Yeah.
The whole deal. I'll pick you up or he'll pick me up, whatever. So I call him, no answer. Then all of a sudden I get a call from him. And he's like, oh, call right back. Hey, Chavo, hey, what's up, man? He sounds just off. I'm like, man, you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm cool, man. Just really bad. A really, really just bad weekend. And just, Daniel and Nancy are sick, his wife,
So you're actually talking to him at this point?
I'm talking to him, yeah. And this
is basically after he's probably killed his wife?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They're sick, they're not feeling good. And I'm like, all right, cool. And well, you coming in? Yeah, I missed my flight. But don't worry, I'm going to catch another flight and I'll be there. Okay, I go, just call me when you get in and I'll pick you up, no matter what time it is. We were landing in Houston. I had to drive to Belmont. And I was like, don't worry about it. We're late. I'll wait for you. Okay. So he gets getting ready to get off the phone. And he makes a point of it. It stops. He goes, Chavo. I go, yeah. And he goes, I love you. I said, I love you too, man. It wasn't too off kilter because we always tell each other we love each other.
Yeah.
But this was really forced. It was not forced. It was really like made a point of it. It was like, hey man, okay, I love you, brother. Okay, no, it was like, Chavo, I love you.
I want you to understand this.
Basically, yeah.
Don't forget this.
Coming from a man with very few words.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I love you too, bro. So I hung up, and I thought that was strange. So I called him right back, and I go, hey man, are you all right? I'm fine, man. Like I said, I just had a real hard weekend, And
Okay, so my question is this. If those text messages seem so strange and whatnot, how come you didn't alert the authorities, he doesn't, Chris is, this obviously is out of character for him, so how come the police were notified? This all happened when he got those text messages when he started saying something about, I think it was like 36 hours later or something. So how come he didn't say something then? You know what I mean? That's what he should have said something, hours. So like as soon as he got those, he should have immediately said, oh, there's something strange with this, and then contact the authorities to do a welfare check, you know what I mean? But I believe Chavo had a hand in this as well, and I believe he knows way more than what he's saying. I'm not saying he killed the family or nothing, but I believe you have them understand the layout of the house since he was buried the weekend before all that happened. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of shit's off with the whole Benoit thing. No matter what they say, man, I truly believe, man, that he didn't kill his family or himself and that the man was, set up. And I have a feeling that Nancy is trying to have him and the boy killed and whatnot and run off or something. Um, I believe she had some form in this, but the people that killed us, they turned on her and they got her. Don't mean no disrespect, but something off of Nancy as well, you know what I mean? But do I believe Chris Benoit just snapped or had CTE and killed his family? No, I don't believe that at all. I'm going by what people who personally knew him and all this for years and all that. I'm going by what they say. He's known him for a long time, or even said that they can understand him having marital problems, but he's not going to go up and just kill his wife and then his son. You know what I mean? But that shit don't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me. 19 years ago. It still don't now. The math ain't math, my friends. But let me get back into it with you. So I'll try to get my 2 cents on that part.
real hard weekend, and I had to go take him, Daniel and Nancy to the hospital. And I'm like, oh, okay, man. Well, I'm here. Okay, man. Okay, cool. So then hung up, and that was the last I actually talked to him. I guess he called Scott Armstrong too. He and I hooked up. We hooked up, and we ended up driving, waiting for Chris. No call. I'm calling. Hey, dude, did you miss your flight? Did you make your new flight? No call, no answer. Okay, well, I guess we got to drive. Well, if we got to come back, we said if we got to come back and go pick him up, we will.
Hey, Parker, this is Benoit again. It's about 5 to 2 in the afternoon. So I'm bullshit with you, man. Find out what happened. I was talking to one of the production crew guys on the flight home into Atlanta. He said you kind of got shafted over.
Now listen very closely to the background noise. Here it sounds like a pistol being caught back, and then a heavy dragging noise, then one talking, and then a child groaning in pain. You hear that twice. The second time you hear it, that in the background. The second time, that's when you start hearing Chris start stumbling over his words as he's about to cry, but he's holding everything in and holding it together. Pay close attention. I learned the proper software to really, enhance the background sounds, but just listen closely. You can hear it. And I'm not understanding what exactly he's even talking about, or who this Michael Parker man is. But, I believe that, I don't know, it feels like Corey's phone call, if you ask me. Like he's being forced to make this random call, and it's not even really making sense. And you can tell Benoit's been heavily sedated with Zen action. He's out of it, Just listen, man. Just listen to him.
That really fucking sucks. But, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than experience. And you got, but, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, nothing changed the experience. Like, let me know. It sucks. But, if there's anything I can do at all, man, please give me a call and let me know. And, nothing changed the experience. Like, nothing could be better than experience, and you got that. It's like, I'm talking to you right now. I don't know what the details are off the top of my head, but hope all's well with you, man. And just missed you the last couple of weeks. Wondering where you're at. I hope you're doing well. If you can, when you get the chance, give me a call. Take care, man. Hope all's well. Bye.
Hey, Chris. This is Eddie Guerrero. Hi, Nancy. How you doing? This is Eddie Big E Shaw.
And another narrative they try to say is that he's over years of his best friend being buried. That's another reason why he killed his family. That's a lie. I lost so many close friends, and I've never once killed my whole family. That's a lot of bullshit right there. I mean, yeah, it hurts. It hurts really bad losing someone close to you, but doesn't mean you're going to kill your whole family, though, just because you know what I mean? This part's just voicemail. The background noise in this is just the police inside Chris's house, and they're just playing a voicemail. It's like the background noise you hear at this point. I mean, they're all already dead, but this is just the old voicemail Eddie sent to the house again. Let you listen.
And Cheryl, and we all want to say hello to you and Daniel and Chris and the whole family. We hope you guys are doing great, and Just want to let you know the next time you guys are around in Phoenix that you guys got a home to come stay with us with. We're really looking forward to your company. But anyway, the reason I'm calling is I'm trying to get a hold of Chris. And the reason is because I got to fly into Minneapolis tonight. And I don't know if Chris is flying in tonight or tomorrow morning. But I know I got to fly in tonight. So Chris told me he was going to set up the hotels because
Saturday, 3:50 p.m.
Hey guys, this is Eddie, just finishing up my call. So yeah, that's just it. I'd like to find out what hotel it is, and because I might have to reserve my room for an extra night, Chris. So if you could get back to me as soon as you can, I'd greatly appreciate it, Chris. Okay? Thank you, brother, and God bless you, man, and I'm sorry to disturb you, okay? Take care, man. My best to your family. Bye-bye.
Monday night, my wife and my children will not be watching Raw because I am going to do something that is unthinkable. I'm going to leave you with my anger. Sleep well.
If we got to come back, we said if we got to come back and go pick him up, we will. So we went to the show, and the agents were asking, "Where's Chris? Where's Chris?"
This is a house show.
House show, right? House show. Where's Chris? Chris. Next day was a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
In Houston. Well, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Mrs. Fly, he's gonna. Okay. So we drive to Houston the next day. Me and Scotty, and
still no word.
Still no from Chris. We're calling him, okay, nothing. I get some texts on my phone at probably 5 a.m. and I get a text from Chris.
So you wake up in the morning, you've got
not even before. It woke me up before 5 in the morning. So I look at my text and I'm like, that's weird. It says the dogs are in the enclosed pool area. The garage door is open. I looked at it. I was like, well, that's weird. Is this one of those texts you get? Sometimes you get texts, from 3 days ago you never delivered, and then all of a sudden you got a text. And this is kind of the start of texting. Now it's a little different. But
yeah,
back
it was
then,
2007.
A lot of times, texts didn't come through and they got lost, and all of a sudden you got them, and I was like, well, that's
you get
weird.
half a text.
Half a text, yeah, that was weird. So okay, I wrote it off. Then I get another text from Nancy's phone, from his wife's phone, and it said the same thing. The same text. That's really weird. Okay, whatever. I kind of wrote it off. So then I had to get up in 2 hours. So I got up. I go downstairs to meet Scotty Armstrong, and I look at him. I go, "Did you get anything weird last night happen?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got some weird text from Chris." I said, "Me too. Did it say this?" He goes, "Yeah." So we call Chris. No answer. That's weird. So we go to the pay-per-view. Chris isn't showing up. And they're asking us, where's he at? I'm not sure. We're not sure where he's at. Now we're covering for him. We think maybe,
blatantly lying for him now.
We're blatantly, whatever. We're just covering for him. No, I haven't heard from him. I don't know what's going on. Okay, great. Didn't tell us anything about the text, nothing.
Did you feel something was going on weird
something,
at this point?
Something was going on. Something was going on. And I remember Arn Anderson saying, this is later on in the day, because he was supposed to wrestle the pay-per-view.
He was supposed to wrestle for the title.
Yeah, the ECW Championship against CM Punk. He was supposed to wrestle him, and this is a big match.
Mm-hmm.
From inside his home, with the dead bodies of his wife and later his son nearby, WWE star Chris Benoit communicated at least a dozen times with co-workers. Details of phone conversations, voicemails, and text messages were released by World Wrestling Entertainment. Around 3:30 Saturday afternoon, Benoit told a co-worker by phone that he overslept and would be late to that night's WWE event in Beaumont, Texas. The co-worker, who the WWE did not name, said Benoit stated, "I love you," and sounded groggy. Minutes later, another phone conversation. Benoit's story changed. Now, he said his wife and son were sick with food poisoning. Around 4:30, another co-worker called Benoit to check in. The wrestler said his wife was throwing up blood. But by this time, authorities say, Nancy Benoit was dead, strangled by her husband some 24 hours earlier. There were 3 more phone calls between Benoit and WWE's Talent Relations Department. The company says a representative told the wrestler to skip the Beaumont event and catch up with the tour in Houston on Sunday. About 9 hours later, just before 4 a.m. on Sunday morning, Benoit sent a series of text messages to the same co-workers he spoke with by phone. 4 of the messages listed only Benoit's home address. A 5th read, "The dogs are in the enclosed pool area. Garage side door is open." Co-workers tried to reach Benoit throughout the day on Sunday. On Monday, they alerted WWE officials, who called the Fayette County Sheriff's Office.
Hi, I just spoke to one of the other officers there. My name is Dennis Fagan. I'm a retired detective in New York City. I run the security for World Wrestling, and one of our wrestlers that lives down there is missing, and he told me to say we need a welfare check done.
Okay, what's the address?
130 Green Meadow Lane. The zip code is 30215.
All right, Dennis, what's your last name?
Fagan, Fagan.
And what's his name?
Chris Benoit. It's spelled Benoit.
Okay, and he's a wrestler?
Yes, what happened, he's a very religious gentleman, and yesterday he was supposed to show up at a pay-per-view and never got on the plane, never showed up. They've tried to reach his wife, Nancy. She doesn't answer. They tried to call his house. It's out of character for him. So at 3 o'clock this morning, there was a message left for one of the other wrestlers, and basically it says, the dogs are in the backyard, the back door is open, goodbye. And that was it.
Dogs in the yard?
Yes, and the back door is open. He didn't say anything else, and that was it.
Door.
That message was left at 3 o'clock this morning for another wrestler.
Okay, and that's 130 Green Meadow Lane.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the phone number for you?
My cell is 646-739-1992.
Okay, what does he look like?
Chris is about 6'1", very muscular, very stocky, has a very wide neck, looks like a wrestler.
Okay. White male, black male?
Yes, male white.
White male.
And that's the only thing he got correct was that his race. That was it. He got his whole physical description incorrect. He's actually 5'11", with, I would say, light to dark brown hair. I think dark, but lighting and all that. And it seems like he's coerced. I'm not sure if this is the same video where it has Dennis Fagan talking about how he's basically telling the sheriff in Fayetteville about that. Go ask the neighbor Holly. She's good with the dogs, right? She can handle the dogs, which is strange because I never heard of a police investigation going down the way it did with like this. I never heard of it. It gets deeper though. It gets really deep. This is literally a whole rabbit hole if you really think about it. But the truth was never meant to be known by anybody. You know what I mean? The God knows truth will really happen. Do I believe Chris Benoit killed himself and his family? No, I don't. I believe he pissed off the wrong people years ago, and he was getting threats. He's getting death threats towards him, and I believe whoever these people are, they done him in. They done him in and his family, and then they wanted to tarnish his legacy and his reputation and whatnot. And they did it. They did just that. They tarnished it. And his oldest son, David, can't even join the WWE, which is probably good anyways because of how dirty they do the wrestlers and stuff. Especially with the likes of like Owen Hart and whatnot. What happened to him back in 1999, you know what I'm saying? The shit gets deep. And then when Eddie Guerrero died, I think maybe the next week or something on, it's either Raw or SmackDown, they already had a storyline trying to say that Randy Orton talking to Ray saying, "Oh, you're looking up to heaven as if your buddy's up there." But no, he's really down here, pointing down the ground, talking about hell, right? How you gonna disrespect the dead like that, man? You know what I'm saying? Well, let's keep getting into it, man. It's like I said, it goes deeper than what y'all could imagine. I do got more information that I'm kind of hesitant to really sharing like that due to my personal safety and whatnot. But I don't know about sharing though. I could, but and I'm a firearm owner, but I guess it don't matter if piss off the wrong people and you got a gun, right? Because these guys can pick and surprise me when I'm at the crib or something or whatever. I'm a prey on. So let's get back into this show. All right.
Okay. He's got short black hair.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and send somebody out there to check on him. If you want to call us back in like 45 minutes or so. If they yeah, it's 770 461 4357. Yeah, and if he's there, we'll tell him to give you a call. But if you want to call back and check to see if if anybody was there or anything, just call us back in about 30, 45 minutes. Anybody can talk to you.
You see this, y'all? They've killed the family. That was the original narrative back then. And by the way, that's when they had a Who Killed Vince McMahon storyline. That was even stranger too. They killed the family. Then it got quickly changed to He Killed the Family. Man, come on, bro. And the dude's, come on, man. The dude's Canadian too. He's from Canada. A lot of people from Canada are known to really be one of the nicest people and one of the nicest and friendliest people, man. I know they've had jokes about that in certain um, media and stuff, but I mean, just about every Canadian I've met have been pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Very um, nice, hospital, all that. You know what I mean? I guess a lot of people could be too, but I've noticed even just Canadians, just them personally, they have that. A lot of them are like that. You know, come on, man. It's pretty obvious they want to do none of this shit, man. Hold on, let's keep going, man. Like I say, it can get deeper, bro. It get deeper. And we'll wait until y'all see about towards about right here in the video. It gets quickly strange, and this is from 2007. You know what I mean? It gets really strange. So come on, let's just keep checking. Let's keep going.
We are waiting for breaking news on Studio B. A news conference is about to begin, and you can see what we believe to be some of the players walking up to tell us.
By the way, since day one, they already had a false narrative, y'all, that they're ready to spin. And boy, man, the media really ate that shit up, bro. So I tell people, you can't believe everything you freaking hear from the news and all that, because a lot of it's fabricated stories in order to spread their agenda. You know what I mean? Just like with certain shootings going on and stuff. It's not all, like I said, not everything you hear on the news is real, man. Just like the people you see around you, not everybody's really human and all that, man. There's a lot of people that are very evil and stuff, man. Chris Benoit, no, man. Dude's innocent. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have irrefutable proof, man, that he really did all this, I'm not gonna believe what the news says, bro, because they've been lying to people for a long time. And I believe it was the 1940s before World War II that the CIA brought all the news, they bought out all the news outlets so they can spread propaganda to their American citizen stuff. I'm American too, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a thing. That way they can push certain narratives and get a lot of it to cause fear in the public. That's why they do that with the, about guns and stuff, man. Do I believe everybody should have a gun? Hell no. Hell no. Definitely not. Especially people that's got mental problems and stuff, and you know, the schizophrenic or whatever you want to call it, all that stuff, man. No, people like that should not be carrying a firearm whatsoever, because that puts the public at risk and whatnot. But like I said, they always bring these narratives out, and even with shootings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, to watch, it's always been a narrative, man. And I feel for Chris and his family. This is really horrible. You know, if he had brain damage, could have, but I don't think it was as severe as they were making it out to be, because if that was the case, he wouldn't have been able to do all the stuff he did in the ring. He would not have been able to been a big time WWE wrestler, make it a main event. Remember all these moves he has to do. Remember how to get to the airport and drive back home. You know what I'm saying? I call bullshit on that. His brain was not that fucked up like he was saying. And shit like that can be fabricated as well. You can't even trust that. Look up what was done to Kenneth Johnson and all that. The people that did the autopsy on his body and all that, they found out he had newspapers put in part of his body where his organs should be. You know, his liver, kidneys, stuff like that. So that just goes to show you can't even trust the people that's doing your autopsy. And like I said, you can't trust the media. You can't trust your own government, man. I mean, they send our U.S. troops out there to fight for nothing, just so these rich elites get that oil money and all that. You know, it causes a lot of bloodshed, even on innocent people. Whenever we go and fight, you know what I'm saying? You can't trust it, man. You can't. You gotta learn to do your own research and you gotta learn to do your own investigative research and really look into things, you know. But let me finish this video up for y'all. I got something else to show you.
Exactly what they know about what has happened. The man on the left is a former champion pro wrestler, WWE style. There are a lot of accusations and allegations about what's happened with him in domestic violence in his life. But today's accusation is this, that he shot his wife, that he murdered his wife, strangling her, then suffocated his own child in the child's bed, then at some point after went to his own weight room and hanged himself inside his home. Now, there is a lot to go around this Benoit character. Police say there was a divorce in the works.
One more thing, guys. Another thing, they try to say the way he hung himself, it's impossible, even for somebody with the amount of strength he had. They try to say he used elastic bands on his pulley to hang himself with weights that was twice the amount of what he could lift, which he obviously couldn't lift that by himself. I believe that's a lie too. There's no way. You know what I mean? Look at come on, man. And I think after they killed his family and then got to him, I think they strangled the life out of him and snapped his neck. Probably, and I'd say they broke his neck so that not only him, if there was some chance he even made it out alive, breaking his, I believe that's another reason they broke his neck, and then two, to have that narrative that he hung himself with his own pulley system, which is impossible to do with the less advanced and weighing the amount of weight he did. Let's get back to it. We need more people talking on this, man. We need this case reopened. I kind of have doubts that ever will be due to all the corruption by these sons of bitches over here and then the people involved. Unfortunately, I hope it does one day just give his family some peace that if they do believe in that false narrative, which I don't believe they do. Well, who knows, man? And so you can't trust everybody, bro.
There's domestic violence history, and that now the investigation is into whether steroids might have set him off.
I'm Sergeant Keith Whiteside with the Fayette County Sheriff's Department. We're gathered here. We got a press release, give you a little information on the incident that took place here. I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Tommy Pope, lead investigator for the Fayette County Sheriff's Department, along with the District Attorney Scott Ballard. At this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Pope. He can give you a little information, if you will. Allow them to get through with what they have to say, and then we'll take some questions afterwards.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you know, yesterday afternoon, approximately around 2:30, the Sheriff's Department received a call for a welfare check here at the Benoit residence. That call came from Mr. Benoit's employers. Apparently, he had missed some engagements earlier this weekend out of state. They became concerned for his health and well-being. The deputies arrived on scene. Once searching the house, they were able to locate 3 bodies inside of the home here. Those bodies were Mr. Benoit himself, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel.
Question. Now, how can any of this be a coincidence, y'all? You got a leaker and all this. It's putting ass before the police even do anything. Like, come on, man. Only you know something like this is if you have insider information. And then they let this boy go. Matthew Greenberg. Or whoever your real name is, Matthew Greenberg, this is a special place in hell for people like you, man. I don't believe he was in on it. I believe his dad knew some shit. And once he watched this interview, this shit's fucking crazy, man. It really enrages me that nothing was really truly done about this. And then everything just went silent and that he did it when he didn't do it. And everybody just said, oh, we're not going to talk about it no more, even though it's hard not to talk about somebody who was a huge high profile person in the wrestling business who really worked hard at what he did, never sold out. You can look up so many pictures and videos of Chris Benoit. You never see him throwing up the 666 hand gesture, which I'll show you what I'm talking about. Talking about this. Hold on. Camera shit like this. Obviously, it means okay, right? That's 666. This, all that, though. You won't see shit like that with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't, like, come on, man. Hell, even John Cena's always throwing that shit up. Okay, right? No, it's 666, man. That's how they do it. 666. That's all that is. All of them are doing that. Benoit, Eddie, never once. I think that's why they're dead too, because they didn't sell out. They didn't sell their soul to get to where they were. They got to where they was because they worked hard at it. They really put their hearts and their body, sweat, blood, and tears into the ring, man. They really love what they did and they worked hard at it. and then sell out. And Eddie Guerrero, I believe they induced a heart attack on him because there's a lot of weird shit about that too as well. And I think a lot of it was to really fuck with Chris Benoit mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people that knew him knew how close him and Eddie were, you know. So, like I said, bro, let's get back into it. Get back into it.
Okay, you know why you're here, why we asked you to come down?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell me?
All right, Alex.
Okay.
All right.
First, are you a wrestling fan?
Yeah.
Okay. A big one?
Well, pretty big.
Okay. Go on.
Okay. Well, over like last weekend, the wrestler Benoit, there was like rumors going on because he missed the pay-per-view and his scheduled dates, which he never does. And I was reading rumors and speculation online.
Where online?
Like on forums. I forgot the exact sites. But I was like.
Okay. Hold on. On forums?
Yeah.
Okay. In any chat rooms?
No, not chat rooms. I was just reading about it, and some rumors came up, and I just.
Yeah, what were the rumors?
That his family was sick, or someone maybe died, like his wife perhaps, because he missed the pay-per-view.
Okay. And when was that?
Sunday.
Around what time Sunday, roughly?
It was at night. Maybe between 10 and 12-ish before the post.
Okay. Where's this computer that you were using?
My laptop? Oh, it's at home.
It's at home. I'm going to ask for a consent for it to search. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It won't hurt the computer. It's just a forensic examination. Because what they really want to do is find out where these rumors started. Okay?
I'm not sure if they're still up or not. They could have.
Well, they can, as long as you were in it and you looked at it, they can check. Okay? So, what type of computer do you have?
Like a Dell Inspiron.
Okay. Okay, so you saw these rumors. You're not sure exactly what sites, but it was in forums?
I believe so.
Okay.
Another very strange case, this one out of Atlanta. He was set to compete Sunday, but wrestler Chris Benoit canceled at the last minute. Monday, the star wrestler, his wife, and young son were found dead in their home. Police call it a murder-suicide and describing the details of their deaths as bizarre. Jonathan Seri is following the story from Atlanta. Jonathan?
John, this is a bizarre case indeed. As we speak, the GBI, or Georgia Bureau of Investigation, is performing autopsies and toxicology tests on the 3 victims. Still waiting for those results, but investigators are handling this case as if it were a murder-suicide. That's what check on Benoit and his family after friends said the wrestler had sent them strange text messages. On Monday, authorities went out to the Benoit's gated home in suburban Atlanta. There they found the bodies of the wrestler, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel in 3 separate rooms.
A quick thing I want to say one more time, y'all, is Hardcore Holly was another person Benoit saw at a gas station. They were trying to get him to come over that weekend before all this shit went down. I believe this is probably when he's leaving the doctor's office. They saw Hardcore Holly at the gas station, trying to get him to come over for that weekend for the cookout, because Chris had a big old cookout they had going on, you know, before he was going to leave town and go to that the wrestling that he's scheduled to be at, right? So, and I read through the police report and stuff. They bought a bunch of food, man, like a bunch of meat, like they were trying to Chris was trying to get a whole party going on, man, which ain't nothing wrong with that, man. A little cookout, you know, family cookout with some friends and stuff, some good food, some beers, right? Nothing wrong with that. And nobody would show up for some reason. Even Hardcore Holly and Chris got mad at him, which, I mean, yeah, I'd be mad too, man. He's playing all this out and nobody's even showing up. But I believe that these guys had inside information on why they didn't show up. They don't say it explicitly, but it's kind of obvious. I feel like they knew something was going to happen. They knew they all wanted to do it. So like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? It's really strange.
Mr. Benoit was located in a weight room, and the minor child was located upstairs in a bedroom.
Investigators say that a gun was not used during these crimes. They wouldn't specify exactly what led to the deaths of these three Benoit family members. However, the website TMZ.com is quoting several Atlanta-based law enforcement sources saying that Benoit may have strangled his wife on Saturday and then smothered his son in his bed a day later before finally hanging himself Monday in that weight room. John, back to you.
Of a suicide note, or somebody that can say he actually talked to me, that was his voice, and he said he killed his wife and son. So far I would be very suspicious that we don't have another party involved in this crime, and I'm not sure Chris Benoit even committed suicide. I would need, as an investigator, something in his own hand that I could absolutely compare, or something in his own voice, that a voice print could actually be established, because absent of that, an instant messaging or an email could have been written by anybody.
But here's my concern. Number one, why is it we're assuming that he committed suicide? I haven't seen a suicide note. I haven't heard anything about the fact that he had 3 days from the time he killed his wife.
Think somebody else hung him?
Wait a minute. From the time he killed his wife and his son, he had 2 days to write a note or write something. Who is this person who announces on Wikipedia is dead 12 hours before law enforcement finds?
You see what's going on here, y'all? She's speaking the truth, though. And they already had that narrative, like, oh, no. You think somebody else hung him? You see what I'm talking about right there? But nothing more was said after she said what she had to say, and then the former LAPD detective, right? But they're speaking on some truth, though. Nothing, they didn't want no outsiders getting in on this. They don't want no outsider. Police getting involved because, you know, but put a lot of, how you say, corruption within the Fayetteville, Georgia Police Department. There's corruption, a lot of them. They definitely didn't want this getting out like that while they stayed in on it. And people that worked on the case were very quick. Pretty obvious. That's what she said, though.
Number one, why is it we're assuming that he committed suicide? I haven't seen a suicide note. I haven't heard anything about the fact that he had 3 days from the time he killed his wife.
Think somebody else hung him?
They found a suicide note, air quotes, but I don't believe that was Chris's handwriting. Anybody could have wrote that. Just over the Kurt Cobain thing. I believe he was trying to leave his band and all that and get out the business, the industry, but I believe Courtney killed him or had him killed. You know what I'm saying? When he pulled that shotgun, he was so high on heroin. A lot of people that's done there and even said that's impossible. There's no way. You know what I mean? He could have done that himself. That shit was staged, just like with this whole thing here. I'm not saying it's a fake death or nothing like that. I'm saying this whole thing was orchestrated to make it look like Chris did it, and he never did. Didn't kill his family. Didn't kill himself. Why would he do all that when he's literally about to win another championship, dog? He ain't been able to claim it. And he was scheduled to win. And he was going to be on the cover of SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. Remember, featuring ECW? It wasn't going to be Bobby Lashley on the cover. It was going to be Chris holding the championship belt. But that would have been a different timeline. That would have been nice. That means ain't none of them would be dead. I believe everything that the news tells y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to cost a lot to put out their narrative and to, like I said, breathe fear into people. You know what I'm saying? Keep listening. Keep listening. I just had to say that.
Wait a minute. From the time he killed his wife and his son, he had 2 days to write a note or write something. Who is this person who announces on Wikipedia is dead 12 hours before law enforcement
That's the big
finds her?
question for me.
Who? And think about it, Sean. This is Wikipedia, and where that person sent it from is Stamford, Connecticut, which is the headquarters of WWE. Third thing, why is it that WWE, within 2 seconds of the finding of these three bodies, said, it's not us, it's not us? You know, it's almost as though they protested too much.
Ken, you want to weigh in? Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about the Wikipedia thing, the person who did that came forward on it. When he didn't show up at the pay-per-view that night.
Yeah, but it doesn't explain it. Don't you think that's a little suspicious? 12 hours before, you know, knowledge of this?
But if you'll let me finish, what came out on the thing was the guy was on a message chat board. They said, hey, Benoit didn't happen. And the guy, just being a smart aleck, went on and he happened to say something, just stirring the pot. And it turned out to be right.
How many people say something to stir the pot that a woman is dead when in truth she is? I don't believe in coincidences.
I don't believe in coincidences.
Unless if you said she was sick, if you said she was sick and she didn't, and he didn't show up because she was sick, that's one thing. But to say that she's dead and to be right is too coincidental.
Let me, Kimberly, your thoughts on that. That is beyond suspicious for anybody.
I think it's very suspicious. His own hand.
I'm sick of you ducking me, Undertaker. You know I'm the most dominant superstar in SmackDown, and you know you can't prove me wrong.
You think I'm afraid of you, little man? I can't count the number of superstars who have tested themselves against the dead man and come up short. If you insist on making this mistake, then your grieving family will have no one to blame but you when the inevitable occurs. If you insist on making this mistake, then your grieving family will have no one to blame but you.
There's too much evidence proving the evidence wrong.
Nancy Benoit tell Fox 5 News the couple showed no signs of marital trouble. One of those friends told us in an exclusive interview that he talked with the wrestler just before the tragedy and says he was calm and friendly.
Fox 5's Doug Evans is here now with our top story. Doug?
Well, just 3 months ago, Chris and Nancy Benoit were making a decision on where their son Daniel would attend private school. They turned to their close friend James Robison for advice. James introduced them to Reverend George Dillard in Peachtree City. Both men told us today that in their relationships and their friendships and the private counseling sessions, there were no signs of trouble.
The last I saw of her, it was, hey, Nancy, let's keep that 4th of July open.
Watch this, y'all. Watch what this guy about to do.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll give you a call. And I waved down to Daniel, said, see you later, buddy. And those are just the last memories I have of those two right there.
James Robison doesn't really know what to do with himself today. He spent so many July.
I don't care what anybody says. Ain't no way in hell Chris Benoit and the family talk to this guy. He don't even look like a regular person. Look at him. His face is getting all distorted. Why can't you see the pastor, man? Check this out.
The last I saw of her, it was, hey, Nancy, let's keep that 4th of July open. And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll give you a call. And I waved down to Daniel, said, see you later, buddy. And those are just the last memories I have of those two right there.
James Robison doesn't really know what to do with himself today. He spent so many July 4ths with his close friends Chris and Nancy Benoit, and even his last conversations with the couple were about their plans for today.
He said, I'm heading out on the road. I'll be back and, talk to you when I get back in town. And I analyzed that conversation over and over, and there was nothing strange, nothing peculiar about it. It was just the typical conversation we would have.
We talked with James Robison and Pastor George Dillard at the Peachtree City Christian Church, where Nancy had been attending services for the last 3 months with her son Daniel, and where Reverend Dillard had been counseling the couple, not marriage counseling, he says, but spiritual guidance.
As a pastor, you can tell when somebody's interested and when they're not. And Nancy had that look in her eyes that every word, she was hanging on, and she was listening, and she had questions, but they were good questions, and I just am so thankful. that James introduced me to them. She had questions, but they were good questions, and yeah, I just am so thankful.
This guy's face scaling up, that shit ain't normal. I'm sitting there pressed with one person, and he got that Nephilim blood in him. The same thing happened in person. Look, cameras detecting that shit. This is 2007. Don't try to tell me because cameras weren't that good back then, man. When people shape shit, this is what it looked like. Face get all crazy. Look, I've seen it in person myself. Dude's dying of cancer, and seems like he's a good dude, but he did the same shit to me in person. To me, when I kept trying to focus my eyes on him, my eyes couldn't focus on him, and then he was like this, basically. But he even told me he could shape shit due to him having a demonic bloodline. You know what I mean? And look at this guy. This is being caught on camera, so the camera glitching and stuff, man. This guy ain't human. Like I said, not everybody walks among us is human in the show, especially with some shit like this. It's being shown on camera. You know, a real man of God don't do this, especially on camera. Your face won't just get crazy looking like that. I mean, you can blame it to the distortion of the camera, but there's no way, man. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all see my face real quick. So, see my face distorted like that? Come on, man. Normal people don't do that shit. You know what I mean? Not everybody walks among us is human. And it just, rewind it. But you listen exactly what he says through the word hanging on is kind of strange. They just want to throw in there too, knowing that he wasn't hung, but she was strangled to death. But just weird wording, you know. Here, I rewind it. And you can see that same guy from before, he was doing the same thing, but not as bad. Just pay close attention. Look, I don't believe they even knew Benoit. I think I believe them two guys are actors or something. I don't think they knew in person. You got the scaly face, shape-shifting like that. Ain't no way.
Both men told us today that in their relationships and their friendships and the private counseling sessions, there were no signs of trouble.
The last I saw of her, it was, hey Nancy, let's keep that 4th of July open. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll give you.
Look at the man's eyes. It's pure blackness in his eyes, man. Looks demonic. Look at that demonic look in his eye. Even Chris Benoit don't have that look in his eye, man. Look, pure black. That's how you know, man. Look at that. If somebody possessed, though, you can see it. I'm not even saying he's possessed. He might just be a demon himself that's taking on the form as a human, man. Believe me, that shit's real. Shit's real. Just looking at it, dude. Don't look like there's a light in his eyes at all. It just looks evil. You know? Keep looking.
No signs of trouble.
The last I saw of her, it was, hey Nancy, let's keep that 4th of July open. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll give you a call. And I waved down to Daniel, said, see you later, buddy. And those are just the last memories I have of those two right there.
James Robinson doesn't really know what to do with himself today. He spent so many July 4ths with his close friends Chris and Nancy Benoit, and even his last conversations with the couple were about their plans for today.
He said, I'm heading out on the road. I'll be back and talk to you when I get back in town. And I analyzed that conversation over and over, and there was nothing strange, nothing peculiar about it. It was just the typical conversation we would have.
We talked with James Robinson and Pastor George Dillard at the Peachtree City Christian Church, where Nancy had been attending services for the last 3 months with her son Daniel, and where Reverend Dillard had been counseling the couple, not marriage counseling, he says, but spiritual guidance.
As a pastor, you can tell when somebody's interested and when they're not. And Nancy had that look in her eyes that every word, she was hanging on, and she was listening, and she had questions, but they were good questions, and yeah, I just am so thankful that James introduced me to them.
See, Chris trained and Japan. And I made 3 trips over there with him. The first trip he was green, and I guess they were training him or whatever. And then the next trips I was over there, he was over there. He was already over there. Oh, man, what a talent! What a talent! Good gravy. He was accused of killing woman and his son. My opinion, I will give you my opinion of Chris Benoit. That was his son with woman.
Yes.
See, I was with woman when woman was with Kevin Sullivan in Florida. Kevin Sullivan broke woman in the business in Florida, in the Florida territory. I know woman. Okay, let me just because Chris, I do not believe for one iota that Chris Benoit killed his son and killed woman. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I believe that maybe Chris Benoit found them, and because his son was dead and he done himself, he committed suicide. It's just so hard. It's so hard for me to comprehend Chris doing anything like that. But see that it just don't make no. It don't make no sense other than he's seen them, he found them, and I don't know what were they. You know what? Get your kid, man. Why was your kid involved in it? That's what
Well, the wrestling world in shock today. Former champion Chris Benoit found dead in his Atlanta home along with his wife and young son. Police now treating the discovery as a double murder-suicide. World Wrestling Entertainment
wasn't too off kilter because we always tell each other we love each other.
Yeah.
But this was
All right, y'all. So, going to let's see. Hold on. Here's another one. Check this one out. Shout out to what's that guy's name? Blaze Video Stash. Blaze's Video Stash. Shout out to Blaze's Video Stash, y'all. Let's check out his video on the now.
Oh yeah! Just a quick disclaimer here before I begin on this video. Everything said from here on out is of course allegedly and is all for entertainment purposes, okay? Nothing is to be taken literally. In fact, don't ever take anything anyone says as the gospel. Always do your own research and use your own critical thinking when coming to conclusions on things. Like I said in the Owen Hart video, which you can go back into the channel archives and watch after this one if you haven't already. I just want to throw out these concepts. These very obvious proofs, at least in my opinion, that the deaths of all of these good-hearted, extremely talented men are not what they seem. I want to get that out to others so they can ponder on those concepts and proofs, in my opinion. Some of the things I'm going to say will also get really, really out there at times. So if you don't have an extremely open mind, please do not continue. I want you to be able to still enjoy the many other forms of pro wrestling content that I work very hard on and offer here on the channel. And I also want to avoid criticism and negativity in the comments section. But having said all of that, guys, let's dig into the deaths of both Chris Benoit and his best friend Eddie Guerrero, two of the most sudden and tragic losses in pro wrestling history. Chris being the single most tragic of all time, I would say. There's a whole lot going on here, guys, and it starts all the way back in 1996 during Chris Benoit's time in WCW. The real-life drama of Chris Benoit having an affair with fellow on-screen performer as well as staff member Kevin Sullivan's wife, Nancy, known on air as Woman, leading to the couple's separation as Nancy left Kevin for Chris, was made into an actual on-screen feud. One of the most brutal and seemingly personal ones. No man, it was the most personal and brutal feud I had ever seen in pro wrestling as a young kid watching it unfold. I mean, even then, the thing seemed eerie, Sullivan's whole devil-worshipping shtick and all of the Freemason signs he loved to throw up threw up red flags for even kiddo me, so I was already kinda leery of the guy. What really threw me off back then was a promo from Arn Anderson that they aired on TV. Anderson, who was Benoit's on-air partner, mentor, stablemate, came off as extremely stern and serious as a heart attack, warning Benoit of serious repercussions of his life decisions to screw with Kevin Sullivan's life and his family. He says, rule number one of the business is to not mess with a man's family, I think it was. Arn said, and everybody's looking for Woman and can't find her. So he assumes she's in Italy or Germany or wherever with Benoit, something like that. Again, even as a young kid watching this, right, I'm thinking, why in the fuck is Arn Anderson searching around with Kevin Sullivan for his wife? Isn't Chris Benoit a horseman? The honest truth is, that promo, it aired as a legit public warning to Chris Benoit, I believe. A lot of people lately are pointing out and going back to that promo for proofs on the Benoit story, and rightfully so. We all know now he sure didn't heed that warning of old Arns, did he? Of course, we also know now that while I haven't personally heard anything about Arn, Kevin Sullivan is a high-ranking Freemason by all accounts from insiders in the business. And Arn probably is too with how offended he seemed in that promo. Along with many others, if not most of the locker rooms back in the day, guys. Probably mostly Freemasons.
I guess it wasn't a Freemason. Chris Benoit or Eddie Guerrero. See, it's why they killed them, both of them. Benoit more in a horrific way, along with his family. So it gets deep, y'all keep listening.
You know, it was a hell of a ballsy move taking the wife of not only a coworker but a supervisor. And that's...
I'm not saying what Chris Benoit did isn't wrong. You should never take another man's wife, but damn. To not only have him killed, but her and the kid they had together, man, that is some evil shit.
Supervisor being a high-ranking Mason at that. I mean, oh, Chris Benoit was one gangster, wasn't he? This mistake.
Oh, and not even just that, but framing him for the whole deed when he didn't. That's even crazier, just to ruin everything he worked for, man. Shame on these motherfuckers.
As I believe Arn put it in that televised warning of his, would end up costing Chris Benoit his life. Yes, that's right. I don't believe Chris Benoit killed his family. And if he did, it was because, or rather, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't because of CTE, like Vince McMahon and the media would like for you to believe. And like Chris Nowinski's been paid to push through yearly contributions to his charity. Don't get me started on charities. And this is all allegedly, again. No, it definitely wasn't CTE. If it wasn't a hitman or more than one hitman and a cover-up, it was most likely Chris was MK Ultra'd and made to do it, which would explain the super weird, eerie, and foretelling promo as he stood bloodied and crazy-eyed saying his family won't be watching Raw next week because he's going to do something crazy, right before he allegedly murders them. Now see, that's one time I can use allegedly and actually mean it in this series. Moving on. This mistake would follow him over to WWE, where fellow high-ranking Freemason Vince McMahon would follow through and help carry out the assassination of Chris Benoit, Nancy, and their young son. I don't buy into the rumors about their son actually being Vince's. Am I going to completely rule it out either? Of course not. Vince is really fucked up. He's really fucked up, guys. We talked a good bit about predictive programming in the media, and especially the WWF/WWE for...
Benoit was an MK Ultra, and no, Daniel's not Vince McMahon's son. He looks exactly like Chris Benoit. So ignore them two things. I believe the script he's talking about, I believe he's forced to say that, not even knowing what it meant or anything about it. You know what I mean? Which Strange Light started looking at him and all paranoid later on in his mattress stuff. So if he knew somebody's going to be coming after him, there's nothing we can do with that. Back to
some reason. Yeah, Vince loves using that stuff. Let's start diving into the predictive programming used for the Benoit family murder. As well as Eddie Guerrero's too, shall we? When it comes to both Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, I think it would be safe to say that the most memorable moment from either one of them, and also one of the greatest moments in WWE history ever, if you ask me, is the end of WrestleMania 20, where the two emotionally embrace, both finally victorious and both world champions together after 2 long, hard careers, side by side through most of them. But there is a shitload of symbolism going on here, and predictive programming, once you have the eyes to see it. The WrestleMania 20 logo being 2 X's, an X symbolizing death, sacrifice. Throw in the Arn Anderson promo from WCW all the way back in 1996, as well as the unhinged Benoit promo right before the tragedy, because we've already covered those. And if we just had those and the 2 X's on the logo for WrestleMania, that, the WrestleMania that defined both of those guys' careers, well, I would maybe be willing to take an L if you claimed I was reaching, but let's add to that the WWE used their yearly video game franchise at the time, SmackDown vs. Raw, in back-to-back years for predictive programming. Both games having stories in them, with The Undertaker, where Eddie Guerrero is thrown into a casket, and then the next year, Chris. Both times released the years those men died. And in Eddie's case, the game released a mere days before his tragic death. Speaking of Eddie, we really haven't spoken much on him in this video so far, but there's just so much more going on with Chris here. If you ask me, and what my current viewpoint is on the Eddie Guerrero murder, yes, I said murder, another sacrifice, blood on the hands of Vince McMahon and several others. If you look into people involved there, Chavo Guerrero's stories have changed at least once or twice over the years, as he took part in covering up Eddie's murder. Vince McMahon used it for a ratings pop, mainstream attention, and to milk every last dime he could out of poor Eddie's legacy with merch like armbands. Come on, guys. How long did people like Chavo, and especially Rey Mysterio, go out there with EG armbands and milking his name for their own gain? Did anyone else not find that tacky, disgusting, and obvious? If you're curious how I think it was carried out, look up the heart attack gun the CIA are notorious to use. There's tons of young celebrities that died too soon at the hands of that thing. I think the same weapon took out Ultimate Warrior. Now, I think Chris was the main reason that murder was carried out. I want to make that clear. Go look at the Dark Side of the Ring episode on Benoit, and how much everyone makes it clear that Eddie's death tortured Chris. I'm sure Chris blamed himself and grieved constantly. That's about all I have to say on Eddie's death. There's not nearly as much out there on Eddie and Eddie's murder, alleged murder, I better say that again, and all for entertainment purposes here, remember, as there is Chris. And again, I think it's because it all really ties back to Chris, and that those choices he made in 1996 really did seal his fate. Oh, hey, I said earlier, if Chris did physically do it himself, I think he was under MK Ultra. And we're going to go deep down the crazy rabbit hole here, okay? But that's exactly what Donald Marshall believes happened. Donald Marshall is one of those dudes that are just really out there, okay? He claims he's responsible for writing many popular songs over the past several decades for many of the biggest artists of all time. And his life has been spared due to his talents, even with his outspoken, rebellious nature online. He claims he's been inside the cloning labs many, many times. He's been cloned himself and tortured. His clones killed to physically harm him. It's just, You've got to read the man's story, if only for shits and giggles, and you don't believe a word of it. I had success using Dogpile as my search engine and just searching Donald Marshall. For Chris Benoit specific stuff, I just added Benoit's name into the search at the end after Marshall's. But if you listen to Donald Marshall and you read what he has written online, he mentions the stuff with Sullivan and that Sullivan is a handler in the business, entertainment business, and he's big time involved in the cloning trade. He says Benoit's beef didn't end there, however, and that he also had a situation with the fat member of ICP. What's his name? Violent J? Is that the one? Well, Violent J comes from a privileged family, is a complete fraud, and is only in entertainment because of said family. Allegedly. Violent J and Benoit had a scuffle at the cloning facilities one time, according to Marshall, because Violent J made a remark about he and Benoit both being high caliber athletes and wrestlers. Benoit scoffed and something to the effect of called him a talentless fat asshole that is only in wrestling because of his family, while he had to bust his ass to get into the business. He then took Violent J down to the ground and made him cry in front of everyone with a shoot submission. Want some kind of proof that may be legit? I'll give you some damn good proof it's legit. Go check out ICP's up Chris Benoit song and video. Watch the stupid music video and tell me that isn't satanic and celebrating Chris Benoit's death. Now, why in the would you even mention? Why, no, why would you name a song Chris Benoit in 2012 for any reason than to laugh at his death? Look, I'm getting way off track here with this all. Donald Marshall is a pretty far out topic, and I don't want to run people off. I mean, he even suggests the Queen of...
Let's check out the song after this. Let's check the song out. I ain't never heard it, but let's check it out though. Might be some truth in that, huh?
England and William Regal, a drug runner for the Crown before his wrestling career, were involved in killing the man. Part of me wants to give all of this stuff validity, but I'm still somewhat on the fence. It's the ICP stuff that almost has me sold, man. And Regal's weird behavior in his interview on the Benoit tribute show. Yeah. Regal's demeanor is another thing that triggered me even as a kid watching it live. So, yeah, I guess do some research on Donald Marshall, everyone. Probably about the best thing you can do towards finding the deepest truths. The bottom line is flat out, Chris Benoit was framed. There's too many interviews and little clips of Benoit and others noting how calm, professional, and nice the man was all the time. And something that extreme and gruesome, in my opinion, doesn't come out of thin air suddenly. I'm sorry. Say what you will. Oh, let's not forget to add that their neighbor, who is extremely sus in the already extremely sus investigation that was closed unprofessionally and much, much too soon, is now proven to be a family friend, if not cousin, of Kevin Sullivan. Oh, also speaking of William Regal and Donald Marshall's claims against him. Word is, he was also discovered stopping by the house around the day of or shortly before the murders took place. Man, come on now. If the writing isn't on the wall, if your third eye isn't open enough to see that the spoon-fed narrative is full of holes and complete nonsense, then I don't know, man. Just keep watching my channel. I'll get you there. But to end this episode of the Conspiracy Series, I would just like to say once more, Vince McMahon is an evil man.
overboard. What the fuck am I doing? Oh Lord, pressure stored, exploded, unloaded. What the fuck am I doing? I had to, it's really too bad too. Went cuckoo, gone mad dude. Grab back and stab fools. Who knew? Sad news. What the fuck am I doing? I broke. It took some time. Slow poke. I finally gave way. Went under deep. Don't float. No longer steering, choosing on autopilot, cruising. Haywire, crash, virus. Pull your tongue out with pliers. Chris Benoit. No longer steering. Lost all control. Manipulation. It won't let me go. The pain exploded. The pressure burst. I dropped the wheel. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst.
Strobe light, let go, hold tight, wake up to this. Cold sight, you did this, you. What the fuck am I doing? You got issues. What happened? Shit, I'm stepping. All bloody myself, I'm slapping. One day, all of a sudden it all became too much, wasn't it? Yes, finally released. What the fuck am I doing? Unleash the beast. Eject my controller. What the fuck am I doing? Took me over, I had to. It's really too bad too. Went cuckoo, gone mad dude. Grab at and stab fools. Who knew? Sad news. I'm Chris Benoit.
No longer steering. Lost all control. Manipulation. It won't let me go. The pain exploded. The pressure burst. I dropped the wheel. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst. Headed for the worst.
On any given night, I can take you out permanently. Because life is about pain. I'm the crippler, Chris Benoit.
A catastrophic demise.
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 Headed for the worst.
Immeasurable regrets.
Headed for the worst.
Immeasurable regrets.
The crippler.
Well, that video just pissed me off. Not happy about that one. Leave on that shit. Come on, man. Go in this one with this one video, y'all. Next stream, game. Part 2 will be coming up. Not sure when. Gotta do some research. You'll be seeing part 2. So check this one out.
Conspiracy series.
I'm sick of you ducking me, Undertaker. You know I'm the most dominant superstar in SmackDown, and you know you can't prove me wrong.
You think I'm afraid of you, little man? I can't count the number of superstars who have tested themselves against the dead man and come up short. If you insist on making this mistake, then your grieving family will have no one to blame but you when the inevitable occurs.
Hi, I just spoke to one of the other officers there. My name is Dennis Fagan. I'm a retired detective in New York City. I run the security for World Wrestling, and one of our wrestlers that lives down there is missing, and he told me to say we need a welfare check done.
Okay, what's the address?
130 Green Meadow Lane. The zip code is 30215.
All right, Dennis, what's your last name?
Fagan, Fagan.
And what's his name?
Chris Benoit. It's spelled Benoit.
Okay, and he's a wrestler?
Yes, what happened, he's a very religious gentleman, and yesterday he was supposed to show up at a pay-per-view and never got on the plane, never showed up. They've tried to reach his wife, Nancy. She doesn't answer. They tried to call his house. It's out of character for him. So at 3 o'clock this morning, there was a message left for one of the other wrestlers, and basically it says, the dogs are in the backyard, the back door is open, goodbye, and that was it.
So I'm about to call out a huge flaw in what Dennis Fagan just said about the text messages being received at 3 a.m. that morning, which was June 25th, 2007. But before I do that, I want to give credit to two people. The first is Irvin Muchnick. He wrote the book about Chris and Nancy, and that's where I got a lot of the information that I have, where I've gotten some of the information I've used so far. I mean, because a lot of the information I've used has been from shoot interviews and basically putting like Kevin Sullivan's words against his own words and other things other people have said. So just pretty much pointing out the contradictions. But there are things that I did learn by reading Irv Muchnick's book, such as the whole thing we're about to talk about with the timeline here of the text messages. So, I mean, that man, a lot of people may not know, but that man, when all this stuff happened, after it happened, a year, even 2 years after it happened, was really fighting to get these documents, to get interrogation videos. Well, the interrogation of Matthew Greenberg, a.k.a. the Wikipedia hacker. He fought and got the 911 calls released, which we're listening to right here. So I got to thank Irv Muchnick for that. And credit goes to Purple Sky 11 for the photo I'm going to show of the text message, because she filed for the Freedom of Information Act and got the Sheriff's Department of Fayetteville, Georgia, to send her police reports, crime scene photos, toxicology, autopsies, all kinds of stuff that she has shared through Google Drive. So I thank her for that. I thank her for her hard work that she has put in, all the research she did, reading through those police documents, the police reports, 400 pages. That's a lot. So much respect to Purple Sky 11. She did a tremendous job exposing the hypocrisy even of the police, the contradictions there. There's a lot of stuff. And some of the stuff I didn't even know. So a lot of respect and a lot of credit goes to her as well. And thanks to Purple Sky for, once again, that we have this text message where we can show when it was sent and prove that what Dennis Fagan just said doesn't add up. Now, as you can see, these are two text messages. One says, Chavo, Scott, my physical address is 130 Green Meadow Lane, Fayetteville, Georgia, 30215. And this last one is the one that Dennis Fagan mentioned. The dogs are in the enclosed pool area. Garage side door is open. Now you look at the dates. June 24th, 2007, 4:53 a.m. Okay, now Chavo was in Houston, Texas, so they're an hour behind. So let's say it was 3:53 a.m. in Houston when he got it. Okay. Either way you look at it, whether it was 3:53, 4:53, we're going to go by the 4:53 right here. But either way, it was June 24th. Before Vengeance, Night of Champions ever took place, before that pay-per-view ever came on, we're talking hours and hours and hours before. So by the time Dennis Fagan made this call, we'll do the math. So from Sunday, June 24th, 2007 at 4:53 a.m. to Monday, June 25th, 2007, 4:53 a.m. That's 24 hours, okay? So from 4:53 a.m. to 5:53 a.m., 1 hour. 6:53, 7:53, 8:53, 9:53. We're at 5 hours. 10:53, 11:53, 12:53. That is 8 hours. 8 hours on top of the 24 hours. We're at 32 hours right now. 32 hours from the time Chavo received the text message from Chris Benoit about the dogs are in the enclosed pool area and the garage side door is open. 32 hours. Now, to get technical with it, because on the police report, it says Dennis Fagan made the 911 call that we just listened to at 1:16 p.m. So we stopped at 12:53 p.m. So you add an additional 23 minutes to that. We're looking at 32 hours and 23 minutes before 911 was called, before they actually did something about this. And everybody knew Chris didn't show up at the pay-per-view. So my question is, why not immediately, like, something's wrong here, something's not right? Why not get in touch with the authorities then and there? Why wait until the next day? Oh, well, Chavo said that Benoit texted him all these messages. Who cares? You knew he didn't show up. There was already a red flag there. So I'm just like, why in the world did they wait so long to contact the authorities? And just the fact that they're having the Dennis Fagan do it, the head of security, I feel like there's somebody else that probably should have made that phone call. But they chose Mr. Dennis Fagan here, and he's already screwed up and got the timeline wrong, which WWE would change multiple times.
Dogs in the yard?
Yes, and the back door's open. He didn't say anything else, and that was it.
Door.
That message was left at 3 o'clock this morning for another wrestler.
Okay, and that's 130 Green Meadow Lane.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the phone number for you?
My cell is 646-739-1992.
Okay, what does he look like?
Chris is about 6'1", very muscular, very stocky, has a very wide neck, looks like a wrestler.
Okay. White male, black male?
Yes, male white.
White male. Okay.
He's got short black hair.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and send somebody out there to check on him. If you want to call us back in like 45 minutes or so. If they number I should call back? Yeah, it's 770-461 4357. 4357. Yeah, and if he's there, we'll tell him to give you a call. But if you want to call back and check to see if if anybody was there or anything, just call us back in about 30, 45 minutes. Or just tell them? Anybody can talk to you. It doesn't matter.
Great.
They're going to ask you for the address again, but that's about it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, you reached Dennis Fagan. Leave your name and number, and I will get right back to you. Thank you.
When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
Mr. Fagan, this is the Fayette County Sheriff's Dispatch. I do have a couple of deputies out at Mr. Benoit's residence, but the gate is locked, and there are two pretty aggressive canines, or aggressive German Shepherds out there that our deputies are unable to get in. If you happen to have a gate code or anything for him, if you could give me a call back at 770-461-4357, 770-461-4357. Thank you very much. Mr. Fagan.
Yes.
Hey, this is with Sheriff's Department Dispatch.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did you get my message, or did you just...
No. I just called the number back.
Okay, very good. I do have a couple of deputies out at Mr. Benoit's house.
Okay.
But the gate is locked, and they're unable to get inside.
The gate is locked.
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have a code for that, would you?
No, I don't. And the message that we got Like I say, left a message at 3 o'clock in the morning for another wrestler.
Right.
The gate's open, the dogs are in the backyard by the pool, and the back door's open. That was it.
Right. Yeah, 'cause apparently
And that's why they're worried about him, because Chris is very, born again Chris, he's very religious.
Right.
It's unlike him. He didn't show up for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He never made it to the plane. They can't reach his wife. So now nobody's answering the home phone. Nobody's answering the cell phone.
Yeah, and I think as far as, I'm not sure how far away from the road the house is, so I'm not sure if they're able to tell if anybody's there.
Oh,
but
okay.
they, like I said, the gate. It's got a call box. Apparently nobody's answering that.
Okay.
And then the dogs are actually out in the front, so, and they're
all right, okay.
yeah, and they're pretty. According to my deputy, they're pretty aggressive as well. So.
Okay.
But they're not friendly, as she put it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you don't happen to know anybody that would know that gate code offhand, would it?
You know what? I'm going to try and make some phone calls. Maybe maybe he did leave it for somebody, and I will get back to you.
Okay, and probably what I'll do is just have I'll have my guys go ahead and leave from where they are. And as soon as you find that information out, then just give us a call back. We'll send somebody back down there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Fagan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, were you able to get a gate code or anything like that?
No, but what happened was they just called back. They said that there's only one neighbor to the left right there who's very friendly with them.
Okay.
They don't know if they might have the gate code, but now they're saying that there was 2 text messages, and they were both at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. One from his phone and one from his wife Nancy's phone.
Okay.
And they went to the same wrestler who doesn't even live anywhere near them, and basically said, "This is the house number. The dogs are in the backyard. The patio door's unlocked," and that was it. So that's what they're worried about. And it's unlike, like I said, it's out of character for Chris to do anything like this.
Right.
He's missed 2 shows, one on Saturday and pay-per-view on Sunday. And so they're saying the only thing they know is that one of the wrestlers called back and said he's always talking about his neighbor next door to the left, who is, I guess, good friends with him.
Right.
But I told them about the dogs, and they were saying, they don't know. The gentleman I'm dealing with at World Wrestling is a retired judge from up here in New York.
Okay.
Nobody really, has a gate code, they're saying, but the thing is, I don't know what you guys would do is if you thought something was wrong in the house, you'd have to like taser the dogs to put them to sleep.
Basically, we just need somebody to contain them. I think that would be the main thing.
Right.
Now, that neighbor that's friendly with him, do you think they would be able possibly to contain those dogs?
That's what the other this Chavro is the name of the other wrestler. That's what he's saying. He's saying that Chris is always saying how friendly he is with his next door neighbor, but it's to the house to the left.
House to the left.
Yes, and
we don't know
like
the
I said,
name.
they all seem to be very worried because they get these messages at 3:30 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And they said when they spoke to him the other day, he seemed depressed and he said something about food poisoning. And they, like I said, they get the same messages. Nobody's answering the cell phones. Nobody's answering the house phones.
Right. That's definitely suspicious. Okay. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll have a deputy swing down and see if they can make contact with the neighbors.
Okay.
And see where we can go from there.
Okay. Thank you. You'll let me know. Thank you, sir.
Yes. No problem.
Bye.
Bye.
So while these jackasses are playing phone tag, there's 3 dead bodies in that house. And again, instead of calling animal control, which is the proper thing to do, so they don't let anyone enter the crime scene, because at this point, you can argue, oh, well, they don't know it's a crime scene. They know, again, he just told them, Chris missed 2 shows. This is unlike him. This is unusual behavior. Just doesn't seem like there's any urgency here. And the reason that it doesn't seem that way is because there's not. Again, they're more concerned with, our deputies, the dogs are really scary and the dogs are really mean. Oh, well, there's a neighbor, you say. It's almost as if WWE is telling the cops what to do. I mean, damn. You know what? That's exactly what's happening here. Mr. Fagan telling this fucking police officer, why don't you just go next door, get that neighbor Holly McFaig, and have her take care of the dogs. Oh, you think she'll be able to contain the dogs? Yeah, that's what Chavo said. Well, by God, that's what we're gonna do.
Hey, County 911, what is your emergency?
Did you guys hear that? It dialed out. And then it rang and the 911 dispatcher picked up. And before the 911 dispatcher picked up, you can hear, because this is Holly McFake's rep for Chris Benoit's neighbor, you could hear Holly breathing heavy. And then the 911 dispatcher picks up pretty much, and Holly explains what all happened. But why did it record it from her end? It's like she recorded it. Why would she do that? There are so many unanswered questions in regards to this neighbor. I'm going to play the whole 911 call. I may stop it, periodically, because I find a lot of the things that she said to be bullshit.
Bay County 911, what is your emergency?
Hi, the cops came to my house, and I just want to make sure that they're okay, because they sent me over to my neighbor's house, Chris and Nancy.
What's your address?
I'm at 110 Green Meadow Lane, and they asked me to hop the fence because they have attack dogs, and I went in, and the little boy and the mom are dead, and so I ran out to scream to them, but then they went in the house, and they haven't come out yet. Are they okay? Have you
Okay, hold on just a moment.
I know where the controls are, but I'm not going in there until Garrett. Tell the cops to come this way.
Okay, ma'am.
Did the cops call it?
Listen to me. What did the cops tell you to do?
They told me because this guy's a professional wrestler and I'm friends with him, and they said, "Can you go put the attack dogs in the kennel?" And I did that. And then I went upstairs. Everything was open, so I was yelling, "Nancy, Daniel," that's the little boy.
Okay, first of all, you would have smelled the dead bodies. There's no question about that. One of the police officers put in their report that there was a foul odor. And when you consider, they say Nancy died around 9-10 p.m. Friday, Nancy would have been gone, passed away for 63 hours. I mean, if everything they say in that report, is basically the timeline of deaths, which I have questions about that too. But based on what they've said, would have been 63 hours. You damn well would have smelt death. So for her to sit there and say, well, everything was open, so I just went in calling for Nancy and Daniel. Why would you call for Nancy and Daniel when it clearly smells like dead people in that house? This don't make no sense, what this woman is saying here. It don't make no sense at all. On top of that, they asked her to jump the fence and get the dogs. Now, the dogs were being aggressive towards the cops, but very clearly, they weren't aggressive to Holly. So, if anybody has any questions, well, they had attack dogs. If there were intruders, how would they have gotten into the house? Well, there you have your answer right there. But they asked her to go put the dogs up. Now, why they didn't call animal control and do it the professional way, the right way, the way they should have, why they have their Benoit's neighbor entering at that time what they should have thought to be a potential crime scene, seeing as they were calling them on the call box and nobody was answering, for them to send the neighbor over that fence to get those dogs and put them in the house, that's a huge problem. Because yes, Chris, we know it. We know this. This is obvious. They're all dead. They all died. They're all gone. And so for that neighbor to walk into the house, to the mudroom, put the dogs in those kennels, despite the obvious foul odor, and continue to proceed to walk into that house. And not only walk into that house, she had to walk up some stairs to get to Daniel's room. So she does that. She walks up those stairs. She gets to Daniel's room. Goes in there and sees Daniel. Now, the police said, it looked like Daniel was sleeping. So did Holly go around and look at his face? And did she touch him? Was she all, like shaking him to wake him up or whatever? Because again, we don't know what she did in that house. All we can go by is what she's saying here. And what I've gathered is she spent an awful lot of time in that house. Once she found Daniel, okay, let's say, whatever, despite the fact that she shouldn't have even entered the house, and when she did and put the dogs in the kennel, she should have turned right back around, walked out to the police and said, I smell something, there's a foul odor in here, I think somebody's dead. She didn't do that. Okay, well, once she went to Daniel's room, did she turn around, run out, screaming to the police, Daniel's dead, Daniel's dead? No. No, she wanted to investigate. Guys, she wanted to investigate, I guess. You know, maybe instead of owning a stable and giving horseback riding lessons, maybe she should have become an investigator. But the thing is, she's not. But she's here playing one. It's like she turns the crying on and off at the drop of a dime, so you guys be sure to listen for that, because she damn well does.
And I went up to Daniel's room, and he'd been killed. And then I went up to Nancy's, where she sits to watch TV, and she had been strangled and had tape on her face. And then I didn't see Mr. Benoit. I don't know where he is. I didn't want to go down in the basement for some reason.
Okay, ma'am.
He might be dead. Oh, now there's more cops here, but those cops...
Ma'am, listen to me. What did the cops tell you to do? Did they tell you to go to the neighbor's house?
Yes. And
okay.
Now they came when I said everyone's been murdered, and they went in the house, and I said I looked in every room but the basement, and they went in the basement, and now they haven't come back out.
Well, there you heard it, guys. Detective Holly McFaig Shrepfer closed the case already. Closed case. They were murdered. It's done. It's over. She did her own investigation. Fuck the cops. Who needs a cop? You got Holly McFaig Shrepfer. You don't need the cops. You know, they're useless. They're pointless. You know, and apparently they're helpless because she's so concerned about them being in that house, and she wants to make sure they're okay. She wants to check up on... This is what I'm talking about with her talking too much and saying too much. She really made herself look bad here, because when she said that part about walking through every room in the house, do you know how big that house is? That ain't no small house. That is a big house. So it would have taken a little while for her to walk through every room in that house. On top of that, go upstairs, find Daniel's dead body. Not only that, then after finding his dead body, to go down those stairs, go back around and go up another set of stairs to find Nancy's body. I would really like to find out exactly how long she was in that house. Because on Dark Side of the Ring, one of the officers that was out there said he noticed it was taking an awfully long time for her to come back out. Then she comes running out, Nancy and Daniel are dead, Nancy and Daniel are dead. But she didn't want to go in the basement. So she's playing it up like she's terrified and she's so scared. And she even said at the beginning, I'm not going in there. I know where the controls are, but I'm not going in there. Bitch, you were just in that damn house for a hell of a lot longer than you needed to be. Oh, but I'm not going in there now that I'm on a 911 call. I'm not going in there. I'm afraid. You weren't afraid when you were going through every room in the house and you could smell the foul odor and you knew people were dead. It don't make sense. And that's what I've been saying about this neighbor the whole time.
Okay, listen to me. Listen, we have got contact with our cops. But if
they're okay?
Ma'am, our cops are okay.
They're okay.
But if they told you to go to the neighbor's house, you need to stay over there, okay?
No, I'm here. I'm right outside the Benoit's house. No, I mean, they just said stay here in the driveway. I just got nervous because they never came back out.
Oh, well, no shit they didn't come back out. You just said you found 2 dead bodies, dumbass. What do you think, they're just going to run in there? Oh, damn, you're right. There's 2 dead bodies here. Oh, damn, let's just call it a day. We need to come on back out so Holly's not afraid. No, they got to do an investigation. Hey, Earth to Holly. Holy shit. I mean, damn. This is fucking ridiculous.
Have contact with your SO people that live in the basement.
Okay, they do. She's talked to the cops in the house. Okay. I'm sorry. I was nervous that he might be in there and do something to them. I just don't know what.
So she's nervous that Chris is going to do something to the cops. She said she's nervous he's going to do something to the cops. Well, he is Chris Benoit. And he had no history of ever murdering anyone, was never arrested for it, was never accused of it, but she just has no problem accusing him of it right here. Before anything could be investigated, before any determination was made on when Nancy died, when Daniel died, you got this loudmouth bitch right here going and flapping her gums that Chris is the killer and she's afraid that he's going to, what, kill the cops? You were just in there unarmed. You didn't have a gun. You didn't have a taser. And you were fine walking through every single room in that house, except the basement. Don't forget, guys, except the basement where Chris was. Ironically enough, she didn't walk where Chris was. But the police officers with guns and all that, she's so concerned. She's so worried. And to me, it all sounds so fake. It just does. That's my opinion of it. This sounds fake. This sounds fabricated. Funny enough that the narrative Holly started here is what the police, the media, and everybody else ended up going with. So how could she just, well, I mean, damn, what is this, like Psych? Like the TV show Psych, where she just goes in and waves her finger across the room, and then all of a sudden she sees everything that happened? Oh, it's just a magical little land. More like fantasy land. More like she's fucking dreaming. More like she's out of her damn mind.
This is the neighbor that was told by the police to get out of the house. She's the one that found the murdered bodies. And she said when the cops ran down in the basement and she hasn't seen them, she's afraid something has happened to the cops in the basement.
Your cop,
Listen to me. The SO dispatcher said he has contact with them and they're okay.
Okay, they're okay. And
they're okay.
Another cop here. So I just wanted to make sure your cops in the basement were okay.
Did you hear how calmly she said that? I just want to make sure cops in the basement were okay. But just not too long ago, she was freaking crying and she was so emotional. That's what I'm saying. She turns it on and off, like it's a show, like it's some kind of game. And you know, this is a woman that was giving Daniel horseback riding lessons, so she spent a good amount of time with the kid. Was supposedly good friends with Nancy. To find both of them dead and be able to turn on and off your emotions like that.
Okay, everything's fine.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I just wanted to make...
Even that 911 dispatcher was getting annoyed with Holly. She kept telling her, ma'am, our police officers are fine. Ma'am, where are you? Where do the police tell you to go? What do the police tell you to do? You know, like, basically you could hear it. She was getting annoyed, and I don't blame her. It was a very annoying call, you know? So this has been episode 5. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I got more things planned.
So that's my boy DX Danielson and Conspiracy Keep Rushing. A lot here with this one too, my friends. Stuff is style level. That was deep, y'all. Yeah. Appreciate you guys for watching, and definitely catch up in the next stream. It's going to just be a gaming stream. So it ain't going to be nothing like On the Matter of Rich due to the title. There will be a part 2. But yeah, definitely check out the next stream. The next stream just going to be gaming. What game I'm not even sure yet. Wow. I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Hashtag Chris Benoit's innocent. Hashtag reopen the Benoit post. Hashtag question everything. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Peace.